Hello everyone! Today we're going to learn about trigonometric ratios of special angles. My name is Shaina Marie Marañon, your teacher for today. So, what are special angles? So, special angles are those angles whose measures are 30 degrees, 45 degrees, and 60 degrees. So in the previous lesson, you have been introduced to two special right triangles, the 45 degrees right triangle and the 30 degrees, 60 degrees right triangle. Recall that in an isosceles right triangle, the legs are congruent. Suppose the lengths of the legs of the isosceles right triangle are 1 unit as shown in the figure. So in the figure, we can see right triangle ACB with legs AC and CB equal to 1 unit and the hypotenuse AB, which is C. In order for us to find the trigonometric ratios of angle 45 degrees, we must find first the value of the hypotenuse C. To get the hypotenuse C, we are going to use the Pythagorean theorem. So we have c squared is equal to 1 squared plus 1 squared, where c is our hypotenuse and 1 are the lengths of the legs of the right triangle. Then we have c squared is equal to 1 plus 1. Then adding 1 and 1, we have c squared is equal to 2. Then getting the square root of the both sides of the equation, we have c is equal to square root of 2. Now we have the hypotenuse equal to square root of 2. We can now get the 6 trigonometric ratios of angle 45 degrees. First is sine 45 degrees. So sine 45 degrees is equal to the opposite side 1 over the hypotenuse equal to square root of 2. So we have sine 45 degrees is equal to 1 over square root of 2. Rationalizing the denominator, we obtain square root of 2 over 2. So sine 45 degrees is equal to square root of 2 over 2. Next is cosine 45 degrees, which is equal to the adjacent side, which is equal to 1, over the hypotenuse, which is equal to square root of 2. So we have 1 over square root of 2. Then rationalizing the denominator, we obtain square root of 2 over 2. So cosine 45 degrees is equal to square root of 2 over 2. Next is tangent 45 degrees, which is equal to the opposite side equal to 1 over the adjacent side equal to 1. So we have tangent 45 degrees is equal to 1. Next is cosecant 45 degrees is equal to the hypotenuse, which is equal to square root of 2, over the opposite side equal to 1. So we have the value of cosecant 45 degrees is equal to the square root of 2. Next is secant 45 degrees is equal to the hypotenuse over the adjacent side, which is equal to square root of 2 over 1. So we have secant 45 degrees is equal to the square root of 2. And last is cotangent 45 degrees is equal to the adjacent side equal to 1 over the opposite side also equal to 1. So we have the value of cotangent 45 degrees equal to 1. For 30 degrees, 60 degrees right triangle, we consider the equilateral triangle ABC of sides 2 units with measure of angle B equal to measure of angle C, which is equal to 60 degrees. So in the figure we have triangle ABC, where AB, BC, and AC are equal to 2 units, and we have angle A, angle B, and angle C equal to 60 degrees. If A is bisected by AD, then measure of angle BAD is equal to the measure of angle CAD, be equal to 30 degrees. Consequently, we also have BD is equal to DC is equal to 1. So to find the 6 trigonometric ratios of angles 30 degrees and 60 degrees, we must find first the length of AD. To find AD, we use the Pythagorean Theorem. So we have AC squared is equal to AD squared plus DC squared, where AC is the hypotenuse of right triangle ADC, and AD and DC are the legs of the right triangle ADC. So we have the value of AC equal to 2. So we have 2 squared is equal to AD squared plus DC is equal to 1. So we have 1 squared. Then we obtain 4 is equal to AD squared plus 1. Subtracting both sides by 1, we have 4 minus 1 is equal to AD squared. Then we have 3 is equal to AD squared. Getting the square root of both sides of the equation, we obtain AD is equal to square root of 3. Now that we have the value of AD, we can find the 6 trigonometric ratios for acute angles 30 degrees and 60 degrees. In the figure, we have triangle ABC. So we have AD is equal to square root of 3, DC is equal to 1, and AC is equal to 2. We also have angle CAD equal to 30 degrees and angle ACD equal to 60 degrees. The 6 trigonometric ratios of 60 degrees are as follows. So sine 60 degrees is equal to the opposite side over the hypotenuse, which is equal to square root of 3 over 2. So the value of sine 60 degrees is equal to square root of 3 over 2. Next is cosine 60 degrees is equal to the adjacent side over the hypotenuse, which is equal to 1 over 2. So the value of cosine 60 degrees is equal to 1/2. Next is tangent 60 degrees is equal to the opposite side over the adjacent side, which is equal to square root of 3 over 1. So the value of tangent 60 degrees is equal to square root of 3. Next is cosecant 60 degrees is equal to the hypotenuse over the opposite side, which is equal to 2 over square root of 3. So rationalizing the denominator, we obtain 2 square root of 3 over 3. So the value of cosecant 60 degrees is equal to 2 square root of 3 over 3. Next is secant 60 degrees is equal to the hypotenuse over the adjacent side, which is equal to 2 over 1. So the value of secant 60 degrees is equal to 2. Next is cotangent 60 degrees is equal to the adjacent side over the opposite side, which is equal to 1 over square root of 3. Then rationalizing the denominator, we obtain square root of 3 over 3. So the value of cotangent 60 degrees is equal to square root of 3 over 3. Now we are going to get the 6 trigonometric ratios of 30 degrees. So we have sine 30 degrees is equal to the opposite side over the hypotenuse, which is equal to 1 over 2. So the value of sine 30 degrees is equal to 1/2. Next is cosine 30 degrees is equal to the adjacent side over the hypotenuse, which is equal to square root of 3 over 2. So the value of cosine 30 degrees is equal to square root of 3 over 2. Next is tangent 30 degrees is equal to the opposite side over the adjacent side, which is equal to 1 over square root of 3. Then rationalizing the denominator, we obtain square root of 3 over 3. So the value of tangent 30 degrees is equal to square root of 3 over 3. Next is cosecant 30 degrees is equal to the hypotenuse over the opposite side, which is equal to 2 over 1. So the value of cosecant 30 degrees is equal to 2. Next is secant 30 degrees is equal to the hypotenuse over the adjacent side, which is equal to 2 over square root of 3. Then rationalizing the denominator, we obtain 2 square root of 3 over 3. Lastly, we have cotangent 30 degrees is equal to the adjacent side over opposite side, which is equal to square root of 3 over 1. So the value of cotangent 30 degrees is equal to square root of 3. Now we are going to use the 6 trigonometric ratios of angles 30 degrees, 45 degrees, and 60 degrees to get the value of the following examples. So you have example number 1, sine 30 degrees minus tangent 45 degrees. So to get the value of this, we have sine 30 degrees minus tangent 45 degrees is equal to sine 30 degrees is equal to 1 half minus tangent 45 degrees is equal to 1. So 1 half minus 1 is equal to negative 1 half. The value of sine 30 degrees minus tangent 45 degrees is equal to negative 1 half. Next is example 2. We have cosine squared 45 degrees plus sine squared 45 degrees. So to get the value of these, we can write the expression to cosine 45 degrees raised to the power of 2 plus sine 45 degrees raised to the power of 2. So we get the value of cosine 45 degrees. So we have square root of 2 over 2 raised to the power of 2 plus sine 45 degrees is equal to square root of 2 over 2 raised to the power of 2. Then we obtain 2/4 plus 2/4. So 2/4 plus 2/4 is equal to 1. So the answer for number 2 is equal to 1. Next is number 3. We have tangent 30 degrees, cosine 30 degrees plus tangent 60 degrees, cotangent 60 degrees. So to solve for this, we have tangent 30 degrees times cosine 30 degrees plus tangent 60 degrees times cotangent 60 degrees. So tangent 30 degrees is equal to square root of 3 over 3 times cosine 30 degrees is equal to square root of 3 over 2 plus tangent 60 degrees is equal to square root of 3 times cotangent 60 degrees is equal to square root of 3 over 3. So we have 3 over 6 plus 3 over 3. So we have 1 half plus 1. Then 1 half plus 1 is equal to 3 halves. So the answer for tangent 30 degrees times cosine 30 degrees plus tangent 60 degrees times cotangent 60 degrees is equal to 3 halves. So in example 4, we have cosine to the power of 4, 30 degrees raised to the power of 1 half plus secant to the power of 6, 30 degrees raised to the power of 1/3. So we can rewrite this expression to cosine 30 degrees raised to the power of 4 raised to the power of 1 half plus secant 30 degrees raised to the power of 6 raised to the power of 1/3. So we're going to simplify the expression. We get cosine 30 degrees raised to the power of 2 plus secant 30 degrees raised to the power of 2. So we have cosine 30 degrees is equal to square root of 3 over 2 squared plus the value of secant 30 degrees 2 square root of 3 over 3 raised to the power of 2. We have 3/4 plus 4 times 3 over 9. Then we have 3/4 plus 12 over 9. Then adding 3/4 plus 12 over 9, we have 27 plus 48 over 36. So 27 plus 48 over 36 is equal to 75 over 36. So the value of cosine to the power of 4, 30 degrees raised to the power of 1 half plus secant to the power of 6, 30 degrees raised to the power of 1/3 is equal to 75 over 36. So we have our last example. So we have secant to the power of 1/3, 30 degrees raised to the power of 6 minus cosine to the power of 1/3, 30 degrees raised to the power of 6 plus cotangent squared 45 degrees minus tangent squared 45 degrees. So we can write this expression to secant 30 degrees to the power of 1/3 raised to the power of 6 minus cosine 30 degrees to the power of 1/3 raised to the power of 6 plus cotangent 45 degrees raised to the power of 2 minus tangent 45 degrees raised to the power of 2. So we simplify, we have secant 30 degrees quantity squared minus cosine 30 degrees quantity squared plus cotangent 45 degrees quantity squared minus tangent 45 degrees quantity squared. So we have secant 30 degrees is equal to 2 square root of 3 over 3. Then cosine 30 degrees is equal to square root of 3 over 2. Then cotangent 45 degrees is equal to 1. And tangent 45 degrees is equal to 1. So we have 2 square root of 3 over 3 quantity squared minus square root of 3 over 2 quantity squared plus 1 squared minus 1 squared. So we have 4 times 3 over 9 minus 3/4 plus 1 minus 1. So 1 minus 1 is already 0. So the remaining is 12 over 9 minus 3/4. So we have 48 minus 27 over 36. So 48 minus 27 is equal to 21. So we have 21 over 36. Then simplifying the fraction, we have 7 over 12. So the value of secant to the power of 1/3, 30 degrees raised to the power of 6, minus cosine to the power of 1/3, 30 degrees raised to the power of 6, plus cotangent squared 45 degrees minus tangent squared 45 degrees is equal to 7 over 12. The table below shows the corresponding values of the 6 trigonometric ratios of special angles 30 degrees, 45 degrees, and 60 degrees. That would be all. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have learned something.